fantastic viewers, and welcome to Fun Fact Fridays. Did you know that the United States is the only industrialized nation in the world that does not use the metric system? Although our measurement system is extremely close to the imperial system, there are some very distinct differences in the way that we measure things. But why are we so different? The truth is, our imperial counterparts, the English unit, only became a standardized set of imperial units in 1856. So all these years we've been measuring things and they were never conducive to one another. If we go farther back, the English units were a mix of English measurements and Roman measurements that kind of got mixed up along the way and became that, and which wasn't a very good way to have things measured across the board. So then, finally, it became standardized. Finally, you would think that with these great standardization of measurements that can be used everywhere, that everyone would be involved. But no, it was not meant to be. We here in the United States do not conform to the rest of the world, obviously. We love American football, but everyone else in the world loves soccer, which is what they call football. Obviously, we like to stand out as a nation, so we shouldn't be surprised that we actually don't use the same measurements. But even though the general populace doesn't use the metric system, our armed forces do. Behind our backs, the government is using the metric system. Maybe they know it's better. I know a lot of people who think that the metric system is actually better than what we use. It's easier to use as far as units go. And of course, most of the rest of the world uses it to measure, so they must be onto something. But we here in the United States and the armed forces use it in aviation, use it in science, use it in medicine, and in many other departments that I am not at leisure to talk about. But that still doesn't explain why Americans use it and no one else does. Apparently, it just boils down to business. There was a move in the 70s to convert the standard English United States measurement system to metrics, and people were trying to encourage students to learn how to convert to the metric system in order to be that unity of measurement around the world. But businesses were quite upset by us wanting to do this because there would have to be a huge amount of change, because a lot of the businesses that market for the United States, sending us our standard of measurements on everything from measuring cups to rulers and beyond, all would have to change all of that. And that was a little too much to ask out of the businesses, and we wanted it the way we wanted it, the way we were used to it. So it stayed. Advocates of changing the system to metrics like to refer to our standard of measurement as the Fred Flintstone units. But you think we are coming up on 400 million people living in the United States. And if we have our own system of measurement, it does serve a lot of people. It's not like it's a very small country where it just doesn't make any sense. At least it does serve our purposes and apparently our business purposes. So I want to know, what do you think? Do you think that we should be on the metric system like everyone else, or we should keep to what we do? I wouldn't be surprised if eventually one day we slowly made the merger to combine ourselves with the rest of the world and eventually become a metric system, since we are the only ones who operate on the metric system. But who knows? But I'd like to hear what you think. Leave me a message in the comments below, because this is kind of interesting. It's kind of hard to say what we should or shouldn't do. I've heard people on both sides say that they really love it, and some people say that they think it's terrible. that being the metric system. But I do not routinely work in measurements in the metric system, so I don't know how easy it is or how much harder it is. So if you do know, let me know so we can all understand how much better or worse it would be if we were in the metric system. And if I don't see you before then, I'll see you next Friday for Fun Fact Fridays.